welcome to another week of Shut Up and Poetry. We're your hosts. I'm SC Says, this is SaladCon, and we're here to bring you some poetic goodness. And this week, we actually have a pretty unique feature. So this week's feature, his name is Sam Skow, and he's actually not reading his own poem. Why isn't he reading his own poem, SaladCon?
So Sam is actually going to be reading his wife's poetry, and that's because he's on a little bit of a journey right now. Unfortunately, his wife died in August, and he wanted to make sure that her poetry stayed alive. And so he's going across the nation, not sure of his exact route, but he stopped in Texas recently, so we got to meet him and hear his wife's work, which is absolutely incredible.
It's powerful.
So you guys are going to love it, and here you go.
Check him out.
I have a laugh that is embarrassingly loud. In movie theaters, at concerts, the scenes of traffic accidents, my back row guffaw gets me looks like, Laura, why do you have to turn everything into a joke? Everything already is a joke. I just know enough to laugh at it without first scanning the room to see who I might piss off. No matter what the topic is, there's always gonna be someone. It's one hard lesson to learn. No one ever just comes out and states it. And people seem to get bored when you try to straight out explain it. But in this life, no one cares about anyone's tears but their own. And besides, I have already cried. For my grandmother who abandoned her oldest child to go on the run from Japanese internment camps. I have already cried. For my half-brother who died from a bullet to the head before reaching the age of 1. For his father, who pulled the trigger before turning the gun on himself. I have already cried. For my father, whose diseased brain screamed at him until they locked him up and pumped him full of the kind of chemicals that keep you from walking around naked in the street. I have already cried. For my sister, whose brain grew a tumor, leaving her with a mental state of an 8-year-old for the rest of her life. For my mother, who held the hands of monsters, fed and sheltered lost causes, gave to those who could give her nothing back while she dug backyard graves for her own dreams, a pet project cemetery with popsicle stick headstones marking loves she would never revisit. This is the history of what created me. You can have it in less than 3 minutes. Because I've been told that the soul of wit is brevity. So I have condensed 20 years of past conversation that gradually had to reveal it. And I lived the first 15 years of my life with tears in my eyes daily, before I even knew exactly why. I was racked with sobs so shaking, they sucked the air out of my lungs and led to hiccups like a hint. Yes, everything is a joke. And if you don't tell that to yourself, then your body will shut down just to let you know. Just try explaining the ache of your soul through hiccups. That shit is hilarious. So I will laugh. Like German children playing tag in the ruins of East Berlin. I will laugh. Like Scottish soldiers lifting up their kilts to moon-invading English armies. I will laugh. Like my Hawaiian ancestors when they ate up Captain Cook. I will laugh. Like my Okinawan ancestors who were conquered so many times they adapted rice threshers into weapons and invented fucking nunchucks. I will laugh. Like the very first gas from the mouth of every newborn baby. I will laugh. Because I'm dying inside, and nothing less than the world's best medicine can save me. Like every reluctant curmudgeon with grudges that can never be paid back, I will laugh. Because this life is fucked up, and I'm done crying about it.
All right, SaladCon, what did you think of that?
I absolutely love this poem, and I think it's one of those poems that context makes it even more powerful. So already on its own, it is beautiful and awesome, but then you learn about her wisdom, about the tragedy that she's been through. I can't imagine what it's like being terminally ill, and it's like, damn right, I'm gonna fucking laugh because I've been through all this shit. So it's like the only thing I can do. So
yeah, I mean, it sounds like she's like already endured so much pain, and so she's literally got to the point in her life where literally all I have left is to laugh. And I love that line. I mean, you have to learn this at some point in time of your life, or else your body will shut down just to tell you that this is all a joke, just so you can get the picture that this life shouldn't be taken so seriously. And I mean that's powerful, and I agree. When Sam came to APS, it was beautiful and eye-opening to hear this story, and already he has, the command of the whole audience because of the terrible situation that brought him to us. But you listen to, you hear something like that, like my wife died, and then you hear this beautiful poem, and that changes so much of your outlook on life. I mean, that's the power of this poem, I think, to be able to say, like, this is someone who's obviously had some shit happen in their life. Yeah, and multiple times, with her stepdad, with her stepbrother, her mother, all of these people, and yet, and herself, and yet, in spite of all of that, she can write this poem about laughter and how important, how vital that is to your humanity, to being just a normal human being. And she could give two shits whether or not anybody cared about how loud she was laughing, because she got it. She got something that most people won't get until they're in a situation like that. And I think that is so beautiful. And the fact that we wouldn't have heard this poem had Sam not, had they not had that relationship, that beautiful relationship, and had it not been so powerful that he felt the desire, the need to share her poetry with the rest of the world, even after she's gone.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I loved that he read it. We're not used to that, like a poet reading somebody else's work.
Yeah, we have rules. We do have rules to prevent that kind of thing, but I think this scenario is so...
Oh, yeah. And I felt like, despite him being the one reading it, that I still felt like I could hear her voice in the poem and tell how hilarious and witty and incredibly intelligent she is. So
yeah, you got a definite sense of who she was and her sass and all of just her outlook on life, and I love that about them. So Sam is still going around the country and spreading his wife's poetry. And if you'd like to support what he's doing and helping him through this, we'll have information. He's actually got some funding, a way to get some funding to him so that he can continue on this journey. So we'll have that information below. There's plenty of poems out there where Sam's sharing his wife's poetry, so check them out. We'll have more information below. Let us know what you thought. If you were as impacted as we were by Sam reciting his wife's poetry. And then don't forget to subscribe to Shut Up and Poetry. Send us your poetry to shutupandpoetry@gmail.com or hit us up on Twitter @shutupandpoetry. And stay tuned. We will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye.
Shut up.
And poetry.